That's right. Welcome to Talkin the Gridiron here, season 2 finale, Super Bowl recap. Yeah, that's right. We got to bring a full house here at Variety Sports Network. I got the usual with me. I got my host throughout it the last 2 years, Jimmy Polato, far into the bench, Jordan Maxson throughout the year, John out of your Falcon mind, and then finally, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Mike out of your Falcon mind. He comes on with us. Gentlemen, it's good to be here with you. And with our season recap, we'll go over a crazy game here, kind of talk about the Chiefs' perspective, put their dynasty in perspective. We'll talk on Kyle Shanahan and maybe what Niners stage are they at. We've seen the 10 Falcons stage. Where's the Niners at on that stage level there? We'll get to that as well. Jimmy Polato, let's start with you, my friend. How we doing?
It's a bittersweet day. I feel like I should just listen to myself because I continue to prove myself right. I'm a smarter football guy than I give myself credit for. I said I had the 49ers in the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. That one came true. And I picked the Chiefs because in my heart, I saw that the 49ers were going to leave this one close. And when you leave it close against Patrick Mahomes, I was sick of getting my ass kicked by Patrick Mahomes in these pick 'em bets and these challenges. I wanted to sweep the playoffs. I swept the regular season. I got it done, but it doesn't feel great knowing that I have to celebrate a Chief victory and now this new dynasty. I'm not excited to have to play this team in the AFC conference moving forward. That's going to suck. They're going to retool themselves, and then it's going to be a different version of how are they going to beat me this time? Because the culture that they have.
I was already hearing Mike Evans rumors yesterday. I was hearing Mike Evans crap. Keep that away. That's unnecessary crap. We don't need to hear that.
No.
Kansas City out there. We don't need to hear that, Jordan. We don't, we don't need that with it. All right. As Jimmy kind of got it going with it, the start of it here, Jordan Maxson, you did the show earlier today. You kind of saved your thoughts for that on the Ohio show you had here on Variety Sports Network. So I'll kind of dive into your thoughts here in a little bit more. Guys, out of your Falcon mind, I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. We'll start with you. Mike, we haven't heard your thoughts before. Mahomes, man, what do you think? They win the game here at the end, 25-22. I mean, we'll kind of talk our way through it, I feel like, this whole game here. So I just kind of put it as turning points. And there's a ton. So as we work our way through it, we'll kind of have a conversation with it. Sir, what was your turning point? What kind of stood out to you as the Chiefs hold up that Lombardi trophy?
You talking to me?
Yep, Mike.
Man, number one, I got to tell you, Pat can do no wrong. I swear, if I gave him water, he could turn it into wine. He could probably walk on the water before he turned it into wine, man. He's an unreal talent. But like he just said, you can't leave it close with Pat. So as soon as it was close, I said, nah, this is over. And it makes my heart smile like warm apple cider to see Kyle lose. Oh man, it just warmed my heart like a snuggie, like on Christmas morning, man. It just made my heart smile.
Bring up bad. You're at the point where you're relishing in it. Doesn't bring up bad memories anymore.
Oh no, because
it's hilarious.
He's like the ex-girlfriend. Oh, I hope you get in a car accident. I hope you lose your job. I hope you get evicted. I hope the worst for you in every possible way. And every time I see it, it makes me smile. And I'm not supposed to wish it on you. But I'm saying if the world happens to put it on you, I'm happy to smile. I'm just observing and smiling while that man lose and got to walk off the field. And I think John called it. He just outthink himself, man. Very talented man, but he just outthink himself in big moments. Great game though.
It's interesting you say that, John. Do you feel that same way about Kyle Shanahan? I mean, obviously you probably feel similar to it. My thought is this with it, as I'm looking, I went through way too many notes yesterday with it. I'm like, is he now is he in Bills territory where we're growing up? Or yep, this is the Bills. They lose every big game. Is he now the poster boy for this generation?
Kinda. Yeah, gotta be. Because I'm with Mike. I mean, I honestly didn't care if they won or lost, but I mean, it's like when you blow the leads that he's blown, and I mean, granted, there's a lot of things went on in that game. I mean, ask me about a turning point, the punt off of the foot, that's. I mean, he can't do anything about that. But then I'm looking through Twitter and San Francisco fans everywhere, why are we not running the ball? I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing because, damn it, we needed to run the ball 3 times and we won the Super Bowl. And that's it. He didn't learn a damn thing. He didn't learn a damn thing in 6 years, 7 years. He's he's determined to do it his way. Like, CMC's going crazy all game. Nah, let's just go away from CMC. Let's start throwing the ball multiple times to see how that works. And but I definitely like Mike. I definitely chuckled and had a nice little. And I feel terrible for our buddies that are fans of the 49ers, but
do we feel that?
They make it hard sometimes, but this one would definitely be tough to swallow.
Oh,
because
if you're a coach too, how Jimmy is this is like, my gosh, you hit a foot, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Like
at that point, you kind of put your hands up. Like, if something really good happens, then great. But that's cosmic. That's not talent. That's not anything you can plan for. That's just cosmic intervention. It's like that. It's the Giants and 49ers in the NFC Championship game where it's like, did it really touch him? Did it barely touch him? Did it not? And it goes that way. You're like, damn. But it was, special teams and the team that ended up paying more attention to detail was Kansas City. Andy Reid, kudos to him, because I think I said on our pregame show, Daren, that he could overthink himself and coach himself into a situation that, not taking what's there, and he didn't do that this time. He was able to allow. He knew what this team was able to do. This was his best coaching. This is the best coaching that he's done, because this is the worst team that he's gotten to this point and won a Super Bowl.
Kelsey was able to finally get in his head a little bit. Like, come on, buddy, throw it up a little bit. Let's go.
That was hilarious. But then give Kelsey credit, because he backed it up, and in the biggest situation on that play, he smoked.
Come on, Fred Warner,
he smoked him. So never even had a chance. Didn't give my boy a chance.
They said they clocked him at 19 miles an hour, the fastest he's ran in the last 3 years.
Speaking of the fastest, the production value for John to say the play, and I don't know who pulled that play up, but how the quickness you put that play up. John had just mentioned it, and it was on the screen. The production by Talking the Gridiron, fellas.
This is why Daren's the VSN MVP.
Jeez, I mean, exactly right. Instantly, man. That's like Fox, man.
On the money.
Kudos to you, buddy.
I appreciate it.
It was also
John. It feels like Tyler's broken up, though. He just said that real quick. Just go ahead.
We know the feeling, buddy. We know the feeling all too well.
Yeah. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting too. Like they chose to take the ball in overtime. Like, I'm not giving Mahomes a chance. Knowing what he has to do, I'm not.
Was anybody truly aware what the best situation was going to be? Because I've heard enough shows talk about it. Why would you ever take the ball? Because you get the ability. The 4-down territory all the way down the field is a true advantage at that level. And with Andy Reid, they coached it correctly. They knew what they were doing. My guess would be that San Francisco didn't understand it themselves and didn't take the time to really learn it. And that's that attention to detail stuff.
I'd be curious, Jimmy, if you had to redo of one of these things, if the Chiefs did win the toss, if Reid would have made the same, who knows? Was he thinking the same thing in that moment? Jordan, I thought the CMC fumble early in the first quarter was actually a bigger play than people are maybe leading to. What did you make of that turning point play?
I think, it definitely shifted momentum, because at that point in the game, the 49ers were dominating on defense. They were kind of establishing a run, kind of getting things going. It was definitely a turning point, but I kind of want to touch back on the overtime thought, because
go ahead.
The 49ers defense was out there for over 6.5 minutes before closing time of the overtime coin toss. And as a coach myself and as a defensive coordinator myself, I don't want to see my guys back out there immediately in the biggest game of the year. So
immediately after the 15 minutes that it took for the coin toss and for the game to end and the media timeouts and
dude, I think Shanahan said, or I don't know if he said it, but I was listening to Good Morning Football, and it was the decision had been made prior, like no matter what the situation was, they were taking the ball first. Like, and I was like, damn, all right. I mean, but that doesn't surprise me because he's a stubborn dude. And like, if he's got a certain way, he's going to do it. He's just going to do it. And, damn if whatever makes sense at the time of the game, so.
It's what the Cherry Creek school system, it just beats that ego into you.
Exactly. Yeah, Jordan.
No, I've said the only thing I disagree with is that they took the 3. If they were serious about finishing it, they should have went for it on 4th and 4. And that
was interesting. That was the interesting part of the overtime. He took some heat for that, like because he went for it. He had some balls, I thought, in that one where they were down 13-10, right? Where it was like 14. It was 13-10. He throws it to Kittle. His big play. It was his 4 yards right there on that catch right there. He gets the first down. But you're right. Outside of that, then you're like, maybe like a lot like Brian. Brian was like, go for it. What are we doing here? I thought it was a little too far out from that, but to your guys' point, that took away all his advantage because it was like a 3-down territory at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
He lost his advantage when he decided not to have the ball. And now we understand that part for the overtime rules because it's the smart thing to do. It's the same thing why college teams never take the ball first in overtime there because you want to know exactly what you need. And you have the strategy always in your back pocket if you don't take the ball that I can score and finish the game because I'm just going to score and go for 2. So now the situation that everybody's going to start practicing is getting kickoff in overtime, get a stop or get a field goal, go down, score a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion. That's how you end games now moving forward in overtime. That's the smart play. It's no longer take the ball and score because it's not sudden death. You're going to have both teams get a chance anyways, kick the ball, figure out how to make sure that they only get a field goal and you can end the game without question.
Mike, any thoughts on like any other turning points out to you? I had a few other notes on some. I thought, Mike, that the extra point. He
That's
kicked
huge,
in.
Man.
Shout out to my Warriors, Moses Moody. It was Jake Moody though. He missed the extra point out there. He missed the extra point, or it's blocked, I guess. But it was a low kick coming out. I had that as a note. There was, I think it was before the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. There was a holding penalty, I believe, on the right tackle. He didn't let go. They had the outside. I thought that was a big play as well. That whole 2-minute warning thing too, Mike, was weird around that time because it was like, okay, if they get the first down here, they basically can just run out the clock. What did you kind of make of that, and maybe some other turning points too in this game?
It's like, man, if you in the Super Bowl or you in the playoffs, I think people don't understand your momentum, because like once it's gone, it's gone. In the Super Bowl, it's done. And as soon as it shifted, I was like, "Dog, you can't." It's Pat Mahomes. Like it's just Pat Mahomes. So it's like when that starts, like I said, you got to bury him. You got to bury him. He got to be under the ground with a coffin, with a tree, with a house built, and you got to stand on the house. It got to be raining. It got to be done. Because he will wake up and he will give students. He will wake up and give it to you, dog. It's Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
And what Tyler just commented too and said about the Greenlaw going down. That was, he was playing like
that was big.
What luck? That's getting cosmic intervention. He's jumping up and down, getting ready to go on the field, and pops his Achilles.
Football gods, man. The Chiefs. Everybody's saying like. You know what I mean? Like the Chiefs have this, but that's part of it right there. I mean, like
love Taylor Swift. They want to be happy.
No, man, I tweeted last night. It's the Ghost of Falcons Pass is what that shit was. It's like we're all over the field. We're haunting Shanahan forever.
It's just Scrooged. It's Scrooge, but football form.
Basically, yeah.
And bro, Taylor Swift, man, look lucky too. Man, if you got Taylor Swift on your side, you got to win. I don't think she lose. Like, come on. Whoever side she was on was going to win the game. I'm sorry. It's Taylor Swift.
Come on, Max Crosby, be the type. What are we doing here? Let's get to work. What are we doing? Let's go. Let's go.
Max Crosby's happily married and sober. Thank you very much.
All right. I don't know his married life. I just think of the guy. We need luck on that side. So those were like some big turning points. I thought for the Chiefs, like if we kind of like, there's so many big plays. We'll get to it here with it. I feel like with the Chiefs, that Mahomes part of it, that magic they kind of have with it. I think, did you guys all have that same feeling I had? Is even though it maybe was the right play in overtime on that 4th and 5, we discussed it. It was almost like giving Jordan the ball against the Utah Jazz and Brian Russell. It's almost like you're playing you're playing with death there. Like, this is the wrong guy to give the last possession to. And, like, it's almost like you might as well go for a touchdown there if you're Kyle Shanahan and just – I mean, you're going to give him the ball anyways. I mean, what do you think there, Mike, with that?
No, you spot on right. Jordan had the ball. It's like our kicker, right? Cool. If y'all know who that is. When he tried on the field, it's done already. Like, I'm in my mind, we won. Like, he's gonna make it. It's like Jordan. Like, he got the ball, he could be dribbling up the goal, he could get double team, and I about know, like, well, he gonna make this. And that same thing with Pat. You gotta shoot him 110 times, stand over the body, drop a bomb, stab him with a sword. You gotta set him on fire. He will come back to life and kill you every time. And as soon as he had the ball, I'm like, it's over. Yeah. It's Pat Mahomes. He can throw. He's the only guy I know that he could be running right, throw it across his body, across the field, spot on accurate.
Wasn't he 8 for 8? Wasn't he 8 for 8 in that last drive?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's running college option plays here. What
running them very effectively. And by the way, passed for 315 yards. And Travis Kelce had 1 yard at halftime.
Yep.
So, like,
hold on. Y'all remember Michael Jordan? He would already be like killing you. And then, like, if his team was on the line, he would go up a notch.
Yep.
Like, it was like, he was like, man, what? He like, yo, we down 8. Give me the ball. Then he just scored like 10 straight points, and you'll be scratching your head like, what did I just see? Same thing. He took it up a notch.
And to your point with that, that's how I felt like when they had the muff punt. I'm like, well, they're going to get a touchdown. Sure, that's the first play.
First play.
It was like you just knew it's automatic. It's not like Aiden O'Connell, like, yes, field goal. It's like, it's a touchdown right there. It's go ahead, Jimmy.
They don't find a body. They don't take prisoners of war.
Yeah.
They just go for the head. They have no interest in taking in allowing you any chance to be in this game. If you give them that opportunity as a wrestling coach, they're just going to stick you on your back. They're going to pin you in that first period. Guess what? That's what happened. They lulled you to sleep, and Patrick Mahomes ran all over your defense. That defensive line was just, they were outmatched all game. It was wild to see. I didn't expect it to be that way. And at halftime, I kind of figured something was going to change. It's what they always. It always gets tighter at halftime, but it was like a mixture of play calling and performance. And it's what I said in 2016. It's what I said in Super Bowl 56. I'm like, damn, it's just a mixture of performance and coaching. And I'm like, I almost fell for it again. I picked the right way this time, but I was like, damn it, I hate being right sometimes. Sometimes it sucks being this good.
I got a shout out to the Chiefs defense too, man. Like Chris Jones, even though he didn't get a sack. Like he affected that throw that was probably, could have easily been a touchdown. And then their secondary was McDuffie and Sneed. I mean, they were playing their balls off, man. Like, I mean, they got Spagnuolo fucking phenomenal job.
Is that 4 championships for him now as a defensive
4?
coordinator?
Yep.
That's 4.
I'd give a shout out to the other side though. Jennings had the game of his life.
Sure
MVP.
Did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Third and Jawan was gonna have himself an MVP.
I thought he was gonna steal it for a little bit. I was like, this guy's gonna win it. I was like, and he actually on that play where you're talking about when Chris Jones got in the way, that's who they were going for, and he would have been open.
You're right. He was open.
Third and Jawan.
He had the only passing touchdown at one point. I think it might have been the only passing touchdown. The only passing touchdown.
Yeah, there's a basketball movie out there somewhere. Right? I can't think of it. The movie Jawan. Where is it there? The next guy. I got to think of it. Somebody help me with that.
He got game. I don't know.
I got to think of it out there. I'll go to detail a different time with the show. So I have it up here on the ticker here with it as we're kind of moving here at the show. We're talking through the turning points. We're talking through the Chiefs and Mahomes and where he played. Okay, so I'm like, thinking through the day here. All right, where do they place it? Where are they now? Is this going to be the talk throughout the week? Don't listen to any other shows. You're talking the gridiron, out of your Falcon Mind, far to the bench. We'll bring you the good stuff. This is where your home is with it. Where do we place this team dynasty talk? Like, Mike, I'm starting to think like today, I'm like, all right, I wrote down like I had, okay, are they Cowboys now? Like with that 90s level? Is that where we're at? We're like, they're past the 9, or they're not past the Niners? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Pats, the Broncos when they won 2 in a row? Where are we at with this Chiefs dynasty a little bit? Where do you and with Mahomes being 28, it's really hard for me to really put it in perspective yet. What do you kind of make of it, Mike, there?
Man, it is scarier than all of those. And I'll be honest with you, because if you think about it, Troy Aikman wasn't that, he was average. He was average. He wasn't somebody that would blow your mind. To me, Tom Brady is the average quarterback. He's like mentally Michael Jordan. He's smarter than everybody else, but his like arm is just average. Now, when you see Pat Mahomes like with Andy Reid, man, that could go on for a long time. Like that could go on for a long time till we have to we got to cut some brake lines or we got to sabotage in some way to get them off the spot. Cause I don't know how you stop that. He's 28. And if the coach stay and he just proved he didn't have no receivers. He was throwing to me, John, Jordan, Jimmy. Yeah. He was throwing to us and he did it and they won the Super Bowl. So I'm not going against it. He lost Tyreek Hill and still won the Super Bowl.
I was that white guy that recovered that fumble or whatever. That's who I was.
That was Travis Kelce. That's what Jim Nance thought. Every white guy that was around the football was like, "Oh, Travis Kelce." Oh, I'm sorry, that was Noah Gray. Oh, Travis Kelce. Oh, that was Noah Gray also. Travis Kelce's the one that punched Andy Reid in the stomach. He's mugging Andy Reid over there. He stole his chicken nuggets. Napoleon, give me your tots.
John, are they better than the Cowboys in the 90s? Is this team better than that team now?
It's funny. They're probably not. I mean, it's like talent-wise, like you could go through the probably both sides of the ball and probably say Dallas is probably more talented, like players-wise. But, I mean, as a team, I mean, you can't deny what they've done. So that's probably a good analogy, though, about around that as far as, like, where they kind of stand. But like Mike said, I mean, and they're talking about already restructuring his contract. So it makes it easier for them bring on more guys. I mean, so yeah, this could keep going on for years. So like it's not like it's whereas it was with Aikman. Dude, the man's 28. I mean, Brady played. I don't think he's playing until he's 40. But I mean, dude, 10 more years. I mean, he can at least easily play till he's 38. I mean, who knows what could happen in that amount of time. So yeah, I mean that's I mean that Cowboys level is probably about where we're at though as well as of right now.
Because I was thinking of the back-to-back. The last ones were the Broncos, the Pats. The Niners, the Cowboys, those are kind of those last teams that went back to back. The Cowboys did do it in 3 and 4 years, I believe. Their championship little run there as well. Jordan, any thoughts on that?
I would put them around with the 90s Cowboys. I really don't elevate them anything really past that. They definitely got it. It's a little scary moving forward. And if they go 3 in a row, I'd put them. I don't think that's going to happen. As a Bengals fan, that's for another show, for another day.
Falcons, baby.
The Falcons, we got it. Falcons, Bengals.
In New Orleans, baby.
Falcons,
yeah.
We got it.
Love to see it. Love to see Jesse Bates play against his old team. I like.
There you go.
There you go. You get that. All right. We talked about the Chiefs here. How about Mahomes for just a second? Like, because of his, now he gets the 3 rings basically now. And it's like, so a Bay Area guy, I'm like, well, Montana has 4. That's the first one. And I feel like Montana, his 4 to me feels like 5 because you can murder quarterbacks a little differently. I feel like that is a different rule. Like,
for sure.
Yeah. You literally could destroy a human being there after the play.
Salary cap rules made it a little bit easier to keep a dynasty around him.
That is true.
Play with Jerry Rice as long as he wouldn't have played with Jerry Rice as long as he did if the salary cap rules were different. So yes. There's give and take. I just want to make sure we say that.
And Bill Walsh, no coach messed with the star quarterback.
Oh, we should have just hired him, Jordan. We should have just hired Bill Walsh. He was in our doors.
You had your chance. You had your chance. Yeah, so you have Kyle Shanahan in a couple of years. You might be able to get Kyle Shanahan.
We're the '60s version of goddamn Washington.
But is Mahomes now like in our lifetime? I'm starting to think like, is he? You have Brady. You have Montana. Is it Mahomes? Like I'm saying, he's not that level yet. But is he now 3rd? Like, is he Elway 4th? Like, is he surpassed Elway? Like, I'm like John. I'm having a hard time putting him in perspective. Like, and I was kind of like a fun what if. I was like, would he rather give up one of these Super Bowl nighters to beat Brady in the Super Bowl just to like say because he lost to Brady, so Brady will always have that edge. in that and the AFC Championship game. What do you make of that, John? Kind of maybe where not the Chiefs, but maybe Mahomes a little bit here as he wins another Super Bowl.
I mean, talent-wise, man, Mahomes is one of probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Like, well, he can literally do everything. I mean, like he could flick his wrist, throw it 70 yards, whatever. I mean, no look passes, smart guy. Just runs the offense to the T, always in control. I mean, y'all saw Rashee Rice getting in his face last night, like, man, I'm open. And like on that one play, and he was like, he was like not having it. You know what I mean? So
congratulations on being open.
Right, exactly. I mean, and but
you shut your mouth and you know your role. You shut
exactly,
your mouth.
damn right. But no, I think when it's all said and done, we're going to say Mahomes is the best to ever do it. I mean, I'm confident. I feel confident saying that now.
More than Brady.
Yeah.
Oh man.
More than Brady.
More than Burrow. I'm sorry, he's got a little edge over your boy,
bro. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in full agreement because he's like the people you speak about, like the Bradys and like Peyton and all them.
Yeah.
It's like Jennifer Aniston, right? It's like you was bad. I remember that. Like, I remember you was the finest thing walking, and I still want to praise you for that, what you was, and you still look nice. But you can't compete with like Summer Rae. If y'all, Google that, Summer Rae. There's no competing with that now. That's the new thing. And man, it's no comparison. And I want to give you your flowers and your respect. And you paved the way, and you did all that. I love Jennifer Aniston, but you side by side, you never seen nothing like Summer Rae, and you never seen anything like Pat Mahomes.
Like, this is gonna be the most engaged lesson that some of my middle school students who happen to find this show ever have. They're gonna finally use my research skills for something that they're like, let's
go to Google Summer Rae.
Oh god damn.
Summer Rae.
Mr. Pilato's thoughts it's not the thoughts of the school district, I promise you.
It's a good history lesson it's an easy history
Give
lesson.
them the respect for the stuff that they did, because they are the GOATs and they paved the way. But man, we never seen nothing like Pat Mahomes. It's nothing like him.
And the thing about him too is I don't know what my thing. Like, I know like baseball isn't like football, but I always feel like it creates imagination in people a little bit. Like when you play other sports, you're not mechanical. Like growing up as a young kid, just like, I'm going to be a quarterback my whole life. I don't know. I think that kind of plays a little bit of a factor. Like, we've seen him make left-handed passes. Like, his imagination is at a high level.
Do you not think that it's the reason he loves to walk people off?
Yeah.
Because he used to get up there in the batter's box as the shortstop and be like, I'm going to end this game. I am done playing today where I have a chance to put this one out of reach. That's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
I love multi-sport athletes. Multi-sport athletes are the best.
I was thinking real quick, and I know you guys got to go in a few minutes here. I have a couple thoughts here for you guys, and I'll let you guys run here. John,
we got about 10 minutes. Mike,
we still, yeah,
we're good.
We got time.
All right, sounds good. I was thinking that, is he like, where's he ranked now in like greatest athletes in America? Like, and my son's real into wrestling. So Roman Reigns, is he up there with Roman? Up there? Is he up there with like your LeBron James, your Steph Curry? Like, where is he at now in like America? I know he dominates State Farm, but like, where is he in our ratings here, just in regard of like our greatest athletes right now? Like, because LeBron's now getting close to out of it now. We're getting guys, Curry's, still hitting game winners, but he's getting older there with it. Brady's now moved on. Like, I'm just curious where he ranks in like just a perspective of sports and just like this mystique of guys. Is he number one, or is there somebody else still like much higher than him that I'm not thinking of?
Athlete, I'm going prime time. I have never seen nothing like prime time. If you're going like athlete,
all time, I like that.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's cool to if you in a sport, if you can like dominate in your one sport. But that's cool. But he played baseball, and he played football, and then he played he was like the punt. He used to do the punts, he used to do the kicks. He was like a receiver. He played cornerback. I have never seen nothing like Deion Sanders in my life. You talking about just a whole athlete? It's nothing like I've never seen. To me, he's the greatest football player in that plays because he was the most dominant. When he was on the field, you done. I'm not even throwing over there. He could be on Jerry Rice. He ain't getting ball. And we strictly gonna go over here. I've never seen nobody dominate like that.
Do you think Mahomes is the most dominant now, though? do you think like, is right now, like, is there an athlete better than him? And like out of all the sports, Major League Baseball, football or basketball, is he the most dominant player right now?
Yeah, after Floyd left.
Yeah,
Floyd undefeated.
Yeah.
So you look at it kind of like you look at it kind of like watchability, right? Like if he's like who if it's on TV, are you gonna watch it? Like, and I mean, if he's playing, I'm gonna watch that game. Like, like that's I mean, I'm gonna tune in, like, regardless of what, if it could be week 1, like a week 4, a meaningless game, or whatever, like I'm gonna tune in and watch Pat Mahomes play. So I mean, it's similar to like LeBron in his peak, Curry, Kobe, anytime those guys are on, like I'm gonna watch it, so I think definitely he's got to be up there.
I just gonna say he's as showtime as you get right now for the NFL. He's as showtime as you get with it. He delivers every time too. If it's not, what was the stat that caught me the most off guard? I knew it was. What it was before we move on was what was he down by 10 in all 4 Super Bowls or something like that, or 3 of the 3 Super Bowls he won, like
because he needs to make it a little bit. He needs to botch at 10. That way he doesn't blow you out by 30, because then nobody wants to watch. He needs to make it interesting.
Well, and this year it was all about like, well, what's he going to do? He's going on the road for the first time in the playoffs. What's he going to do? Oh, he just goes to Buffalo and wins. He just goes to Baltimore and wins. Yeah. And then, I mean, then they're underdogs in the Super Bowl. I mean, like, that's good job, Vegas.
And then they're just going to win.
They're just going to win. Yeah.
He's like the kid in Big Daddy. I win.
I win. Yeah.
What do you call this game? I win.
Yeah.
What do you want me? How do you want me to spell your name? We got that. All right, I got a couple things. I'll get you guys out of here with them. We'll got to get to that. I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on this because of the Falcons side of things. Is the 49ers in like the sense of, okay, I feel like, and you guys with the Bengals, me with the Raiders when they did lose to the Bucs. I guess like that's kind of our most recent teams that have been in the Super Bowl. It's like we've all felt this loss, and then it's like, okay, now you got to get back there and you need everything to kind of go right again. And the Niners have had this at least go right in the sense that they got back to the championship game where a lot of our teams haven't even got that far. So I'm curious, like with the Niners, like from your guys' point, especially as Falcons fans, and like, and you guys have lost to them in championship games along the way as well. Like, where do you see them as like they're getting a little bit? Purdy eventually is going to have to get paid here. I mean, where as this Niners team, like how many runs do they have in them? I don't know, John. Well, I guess let's give you the first thought. What do you think about that? We talked about Shanahan, I know a little bit with that, but like, what do you kind of? I mean, and just real quick, Bosa, you were an animal. Like he tired out in the 4th, but he's a beast.
Yeah. He did hell. Keeping Pat in the pocket, did a fantastic job of it. I mean, there's only a couple of times he let him get outside, which obviously you can't do because he ends up doing his magic shit. But I mean, he was ridiculous. But no, I mean, I still think they have. Look, Shanahan. Like I think he'll get it right one day. I think he'll figure it out one day because, like, I mean, I don't know if y'all listened to the Play Callers podcast or not. Like, it was the little series athletic that was fantastic. It was him and McVay and McDaniels and who else was on there? Matt LaFleur. And he was talking about like offense and how it's always like a kind of a just ever changing kind of just like he's always trying to adapt to it. Like it's his offense, but he's going to be adaptable to whatever's going on within the game. And like, I just feel like Purdy's not, like you said, he'll get paid eventually, but he's going to be cheap for a few more years now, at least, and then he's going to have those guys, his defense will be back. I mean, he'll probably add to the offense. Like, I think they're going to be around for at least a few more years. I don't think that they're out of it yet. Mike, what do you think about that? Is like the thing I'm worried about is like, Greenlaw's probably out for the start of the year next. I'm just saying, like, these things add up. The deeper you make runs, so obviously a basketball guy here, my Warriors made runs. Eventually, they got tired. This does happen in football. It's even more brutal. I mean, those hits yesterday. McCaffrey, how you saved your leg? I have no idea how that happened in a hit yesterday. I mean, like, I'm just a little worried about can they make another run here? What do you make of that, Mike?
No, I don't think so. Man, they'll lose faith in him eventually because he always fumbled in the big moment.
Yeah.
So he'll probably get you there. He'll get to like the championship, but he'll fumble every time. He's proved himself to panic in the big moments or like the overthink. He think that I'm thinking that he thinking that I'm thinking that he thinking that I'm thinking that he thinking. So I'm gonna do this. What?
We just had a whole season of that, so we're very aware.
Yes, just do what's working. Yeah, what are you doing? So I think he will overthink himself, but he's a genius. But I don't got him winning the Super Bowl.
What was that trick play was one of the that was one of those when I rewatched it. I was like, I'm confused even watching it, but it worked out. It was still like
it worked.
It took like 9 months to happen.
We have,
Go ahead, Jordan.
Steelers.
Go ahead, Jordan. Say that again.
I was saying, I haven't seen anything like that since Antoine Randall out for the Steelers when they
Hey, I was thinking, what are the best trick plays in Super Bowl history? That I forgot about that one. I was trying to think, like, not playoff history, like Super Bowl. I mean, obviously,
Philly special.
Philly special. That won't change.
Philly special was the one. Yeah,
definitely.
And I forgot about Antoine Randall. That was I forgot about that.
That'd have been a good underrated wide receiver the other night we were talking about. Like, you remember?
Like quarterback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What college did he go to? Basketball player too. I feel like is it Indiana, something like that.
He was Indiana, yeah.
It was
Indiana. Yeah.
He played basketball too out there. I think. All right, so you guys, Jimmy, do you feel that same way with the Niners? With the chances, like this isn't like the end of the run. As Shanahan got on the screen, what I have his quote after the game. We're hurting right now. No, you know what? But it doesn't take away from how proud we are of our team. We'll recover and be back next year strong. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just this guy where. I guess I'm more, like I said, I've been through the ringer as a fan base, and I'm pessimistic about everything. So you don't give me, there is no guarantee. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, you're going to be back next year? I don't know. I mean, you got to pay Ayuk, you got to pay Samuel, Greenwell, so I don't know. It took him another 5 years to get back. So what do you, your last thoughts on that, Jimmy?
I think at some point there's something good in the fact that you see this and you understand what it takes. We talk about it with this state tournament. Like sometimes people should win 4, but they don't win their first one because when they get to the state tournament, it's too bright and they screw something up and it's not something, just the moment gets too big. Yep. So now seeing like Bosa, like we said, you played great and kept him in the pocket for so long. You got to train a little bit harder so that you could keep him in the pocket the entire game. Because if you don't let him roam a couple times, you get a couple sacks where he's able to make and extend plays. This game could turn out differently. And I thought that they would have learned from their mistakes the last time. And the fact that we're sitting here and it feels very eerily similar to back in 2020 when you're like, what are they? Kyle Shanahan's going to learn from this. He's going to be paying attention a little bit more. He's gonna do the things that are working and are gonna win him the game. Nope, didn't happen. Okay, well their players are gonna be able to step up and make big plays in big moments. Fred Warner gets cut on the inside by Travis Kelce like he's standing still. Oh wait, he was standing still.
Jimmy, they had the ball for 3 minutes in the third quarter. Run the ball. I mean, my gosh.
That's it.
No,
run the ball. Yep.
Run the damn ball.
Pass, punt. Pass, punt.
Your defense is exhausted.
I mean, even in overtime, the first 3 plays, if they didn't get bailed out by the penalty.
Oh, they got so lucky with that.
It was 3 straight plays. It's unbelievable.
Well, dude, look, he said after our Super Bowl meltdown, like he said, look, that was just our offense. That's how we played it all year long. We're gonna keep. Hey, dumbass, it's the last game of the year. You don't play it like you played it all year long because all you need to do is run the ball. Even if you get 1 yard, you're still in field goal range. You kick the game and it's over. Like you don't take end zone shots just to show your balls, man. Like it's not. It's like so. It's just he has to do it.
We don't want to see your balls, buddy. We don't want to see
your balls.
He outsmarted himself with that 2-minute stuff around the fourth quarter. Like I said, that was the game. I was like, man, if we have Dan Gamble here, we maybe get this done. Like we just got to get that right. We needed the right mindset with that one a little bit with it. All right, Abe, we're kind of getting to the third quarter of the pod. I know you guys got to run here with it. Before you do, I did want to kind of get you one little Falcons thought here before you guys get out of here with it. Again, appreciate your guys' time. Appreciate you guys jumping on Talking the Gridiron. You guys, obviously, we've mentioned you guys kill it over there at Out of Your Falcon Mind.
Thank you, man.
Glad you guys are part of Variety Sports Network. Always get to check out the show when I can over there. Always start. You guys, sometimes I like it when you guys start at 1:30. I'm on lunch at work, and I like it. 3 hour ahead. You guys are I'm at lunch, and these guys are starting the show, so I can comment in a little bit there with it too. I guess I had my kind of last thought here with the Falcons side was obviously you guys hired the quarterback or the coach. You did the podcast with him on it, but I think if me, Jordan, and Jimmy were just going to ask you the one question here, The quarterback. I mean, like, is it draft, free agent, or are you running it back with one of these guys?
No, don't even speak.
Okay, I just making sure.
That's not even a thing.
They're not running back with anybody on that roster.
Yes, man.
No, the roster's okay, except for like that one position in particular is pretty.
I was talking about quarterback. I apologize.
Yeah.
Roster.
Yeah. It was all right.
You guys and Bijan came out with some comments. I thought last
man,
week,
and he's the nicest person on the planet.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it was time for this is a good change. Like, I mean, if you got him saying that on national TV, like, yeah, it's time for a change then. But no, we're the best case scenario for us is we've seen so many different, like, there's guys now the Pats may want to come out of 3, so and your Raiders possibly might be trade partners, move up to 3 to draft a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May or somebody like that. I'm down for that because, like, we played a dollar store game the last few years and it don't work. Like, those quarterbacks don't work. So, like, just go get your guy. Like, if you think one of those guys is your guy, like, I'll be okay with them saying, like, yeah, okay, we see these traits in these guys, let's go get them. But probably best case scenario, we do get a veteran quarterback and we still draft a guy and let him sit for a year, year 2, whatever, like that, because I mean the roster itself, the defense was ready to win last year. Offense did not keep up their end of the bargain at all. So when Raheem's press conference, they asked him, what was exciting about the team, he mentioned Drake London and Bijan, like, we're off the cusp, like the quarterback wasn't whispered out of his mouth. So like that's there's the reason for that. I mean, so like, yeah, Heineke will be cut, Ritter may stick around to be a backup, possibly, or they may just say, you know what, it's best for you start somewhere fresh, somewhere else, who knows, but
like Walgreens and Target, he can go to Walmart, he could go to Jersey Mike, he could go anywhere else and work, but no.
Poor Desmond catching strays.
Yeah,
Desmond can't get 4th string right now, Jordan. Mike, your thoughts on that with the Falcons?
Man, I want if I got my pick, I want Justin Fields, but I said, man,
I wanted to ask. I've read some big time articles where some people are thinking that in their front office.
No, so if I have my pick, I'm going Justin Fields, and I'm about to tell you something that's totally unrealistic, but I got to say it out of loyalty, okay? I want Justin Fields to start, and I want the guy behind me to back him up, okay? I want him to get hurt in the Super Bowl, and then Matt Ryan step in, win the Super Bowl, get a ring, and then Matty Ice, like, we put him on the shoulders and we walk him off the field for one last time, all right? That's my dream, is to have Matt Ryan, and I say, I don't care who we win the ring with, you got to give Matty Ice one. I don't care if we got to make an extra one for Matty because he earned it, man.
That was like Drew Bledsoe coming in that championship game against the Steelers. Just one last throw. Just get one in there. You get one in there. He deserves it, man.
Like, it is want a ring for the Chiefs, not even playing. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
hold on, guys. Being that it's out of your Falcon mind, it's my first time on the show. Before we leave, I got to get you, okay? I got to come with the Falconness, okay? So I got 1, 2, 3. I got 3 questions for the one of you, okay? I'm gonna start with Daren. Okay, Daren, I'm going like this with you. Daren, I need you to give me a starting 5 for the National Basketball Association that cannot be beat of all time. Just your starting 5. If you got to pick 5 players, who you picking that you cannot be beat by anybody else? Who you picking, Daren? Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm starting with Shaq at center. That's
okay.
Automatic.
Good one. Good pick.
I'm starting with the big fundamental power forward at power forward there, Tim Duncan. I'm going him over there with it. I'm gonna maybe mix up the small forward. I'm gonna the small forward with it. I'm gonna go one of my favorite guys at small forward of all time. I'm gonna go with Clyde Drexler over there. And then I'm gonna go Michael Jordan at shooting guard over there, and then Oakland, California. Just you got to have somebody that doesn't care about shooting. Jason Kidd, you're getting the point guard.
Oh wow!
I love it. I love it, Daren. I love it. 5. I love it. And I got one for you, buddy. I got one for you. Cincinnati. Okay, let's go Cincinnati for you. Back one player from Cincinnati past. He has to play for Cincinnati. He can be okay. He had to play for Cincinnati in the past, but you can bring him back for next season at the peak of his talent. No worry about money. No worry about money to help your specific team get over the hump, and get to the Super Bowl. No worries about money. You bring him back 1 year at the peak of his talents. Who you bringing back for Cincinnati?
Jimmy, you should answer this one too.
For me,
I got one, but
go ahead.
What you got, Jimmy?
Andrew Whitworth. I need my all-pro left tackle to come back and be able to lock down this blind side for my franchise generational talent quarterback. Because I feel like the man could still play with how he was, he finished in Los Angeles. And it hurt me like hell to see him get that Super Bowl ring as a former offensive lineman and Bengal fan for all my life myself. It's like, damn it. Yeah, you deserve it. You did everything in your power to do it for us, and you got your chance and you took it. But I would love to see him, like him and Orlando Brown Jr., my tackles are set. I don't need to worry about that no more.
Ooh, Jordan, what you got?
As a defensive coordinator for high school, my mind goes there. Primetime Geno Atkins. We are missing.
Oh man, I forgot all about Geno.
Underrated.
We're missing it. Patrick Mahomes facing primetime Geno Atkins.
Yeah.
Man,
Ooh,
I
love it. All right,
need to see it.
Mike, Jimmy, let's go, Jimmy. Let's go, Jimmy. I got one for you. Let's wrap it up, Jimmy. I need you to tell me, all right, because we praise the stars that they tell us to praise because they put them in State Farm commercials and we just start liking them, okay? But I need you to know, because you really watch football, you really understand the sport, you really watch it. Who's a player who you, in the whole time that you've been watching the sport of football, that you just know to be the most underappreciated player, or he's just underrated? He's not a star, but you saw him watch. He showed up every week, and you know that man was damn good. He's just not a superstar. He don't get the praise he deserves. It could be in basketball or football. I need you to tell me who is the guy that's like he don't get the props he deserves, but that dude is nasty.
I feel like, I can lean towards offensive line and say Larry Allen. Jason Taylor had a stretch out in Miami where he was probably the most dominant defensive force, especially under Saban. I was reintroduced to what he did in Miami with that Saban and the little documentary that they put out for his football life. I think I'll probably go with one of those two. I saw Sproles a lot, but Sproles was always more of a gimmick. I loved having Sproles on my Madden team because I could put him in at kick returner and punt returner. But no, I don't want Darren Sproles anywhere near.
What a name.
AJ Green, CJ Houshmandzadeh, those guys were I remember like all the way back to the first few Bengals games that I went to in Denver and like wearing the opposing team's colors, getting to feel, exposed to that vitriol that you get. Yeah, I like all those old school. Rudy Johnson and Carson Palmer were the two reasons why I became Bengals fans in the first place, and then I got to see Houshmandzadeh and Ocho Cinco. Not a ton of defensive guys until recently. I wish I had Logan Wilson type when I was growing up, but I'll take him now.
I can't think of any Bengals defensive players really outside of offensive.
Okay, listen, Darren. In the 90s, we had back-to-back number one overall picks, so we can.
Shots fired.
Dunlap won one for the Chiefs.
Carson Palmer. We both have Carson Palmer.
Mike, take off his hat, Darren. He's gonna hurt you.
Leon Hall.
Well, at least he doesn't. At least he doesn't have his. At least he doesn't have the. At least he doesn't have the Marines hat on.
If not for the neck injury, I think David Pollock would be a huge conversation.
Yeah,
big time.
Is Atkins and Pollock both from Georgia? Is that where they both went?
Yeah, they were. They both from Georgia. Yep.
Mike, let me throw it back at you. I asked my family this yesterday when they come over for Super Bowl memories. For my first, and I asked Jimmy this. His was the Broncos Packers. That memory. My thought. I always like to do a around Super Bowl time. Like it doesn't even have to be like the thing you remember. Like just kind of like your first kind of. For me, it was I was 5 years old. Broncos Niners is like going over to my grandparents' house, like people wearing the shirts, everything fired up. Do you have one that sticks out where you're like, oh, this is different? This is Super Bowl that day.
Oh man, I'll be honest. I don't have one for the Super Bowl, but I have one that started me with the sport of football. I was 9 years old. I used to thought This is a boring sport. I didn't watch it. Everybody else would watch it. I didn't watch it. And then I had turned on the TV one day, and it was this dude. He just kept dancing. He had on all this jewelry. And I was like, man, they are having fun. Who is this team? And I like the colors. And it was Deion Sanders, and he used to dance, and he had a hammer on the sideline with Holyfield was on the sideline. And these dudes was just having fun. When they would get a pick, he would run it and then like lob it back to whoever else, and then they would run it and throw it to somebody else. And this team was in the locker room dancing. And I never forget, I was like, I don't even know who this is, but this is my new team, and this is my sport for life. And I don't watch any other sport. I'm not a fan of no other sport. I'm a fan of one team in life, the Atlanta Falcons. I'm so sad football is over. I'm going to have to watch porn or something, man. I don't know what's going to go on, but I need to refocus myself because I have no sport to watch now. But the Falcons,
the NFL.
Deion Sanders is the one who got me hooked on football because I just thought he was the coolest. He was having fun, and he would call out. I don't know if y'all recall when he was waiting on the punt or something, he would already be dancing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. He would already be dancing before, like he knew he was going to score. He would be point, and then he would score, and then he would keep dancing. And then he went to the 49ers. He played us. Yep. And you remember he took it and was like waving at the sideline.
Was it him and Andre Rison that got into the fight?
Yeah, he was fighting, and then he like grabbed his shirt, and it was like he was pulling himself up the sideline while he was waving at us. And I never forget, I said, dog, man, this dude is the coldest. So that was burned into my mind was the what was that, 91, John?
Yeah, I think
the 91 Atlanta Falcons is what got me hooked on football.
That's a good one right there. He was a star there. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I think one of my first memories of him was actually I think it was a Tim McKyer interception, and he lateraled it back to Deion, and Deion made everybody. I mean, they looked like we were standing still. Like he just, scored on it, but it was wild. But my first Super Bowl memory though, 91 Giants in Buffalo. Like that's like what I really like. I mean,
Scott Norwood.
2019 Giants, because it was on my birthday, so I had a birthday party and a Super Bowl party at the same time, which is I think why I probably remember it. But so that was the first. That was the first Buffalo loss I think of their three.
So, well, I appreciate you guys coming on, taking the time. You guys spent basically 50 minutes with us on the show here. We'll conclude it here on Talking the Gridiron here, but I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on. Best of luck with your show. You guys continue to kill it. Mike, it was good to finally kind of get on with you here with it. And,
man, we love y'all, man. I just got to say before we leave, we love you, Daren. We love you, Jimmy. We love you, Jordan. We are huge fans of y'all's, and we love what y'all doing, man. I love y'all's personalities. I feel like Daren is famous because I see him on the in commercials, and then I get to see him in person. So I feel like it's the State Farm guy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I just saw him, I'm like, damn, he a real person. That's the first thing I thought when I logged in. So I'm a fan of y'all. I love what y'all do because I feel like y'all make it fun to watch, and y'all bring it's like knowledge, but it's fun to watch. And a lot of podcasts, I'm sorry, man, are fucking boring to watch. And it's excruciating. It's excruciating to watch most of them. And I don't feel like y'all fit in that category. So I just want to tell you, I absolutely love y'all. We are huge fans of y'all, and we wish y'all to go forward and just kill it, man. Go viral, be successful. We love all three of y'all. And when y'all combine, it's like Voltron. You know what I'm saying? It's like Voltron coming together, man. So we absolutely love y'all guys. And we are true fans of y'all. I'm not just saying that. Thank you, man, for having me.
I appreciate that, and I can tell my wife I'm not wasting an hour of my time. Actually, we're being productive out here.
Hey, just clip that. Just clip that. Save it. Whatever you need it.
Yeah, play it right.
Sit on it for now. Wait till
you need it. Like don't
wait till you need it. Yep.
Right.
We'll call it a Christmas miracle for next year. That's what
there you go.
There you go.
Mike, John, we'll see you guys on the next one with it. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Hope to get you on soon. Later. Take it easy.
Cool. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you guys.
Later. It was fun having them all with it. Mike has been a while that we were before we get him on, so I was glad that we could get him on the show, kind of get to know him a little bit with us. We're kind of wrapping up season 2 here on the season finale. All right, guys. As we kind of worked our way through the game here, let's get to kind of our final part of the show here with it. I got a few before we get to winners and losers, Jimmy, what did we think of CBS coverage, the announcers' halftime show? The Atlanta, they did have the usher out there. Were we a fan of anything? What did we think? A lot of sweating going on.
I was not a fan of basically anything. I'll be 100% honest.
Not Tony?
I fell asleep through a commercial break and happened to like wake up halfway through a drive afterwards. It was like I didn't have the emotion invested in it. I didn't have a team in it. I didn't feel like the commercials were very entertaining. The halftime show, my girlfriend was, and I have some other conversations I need to have with my girlfriend with the way that she sang "Let It Burn" and Confessions behind me. But outside of that, it wasn't like the worst thing that has been produced. But I was not. It wasn't my favorite by any means.
My wife's big fan of the Yeah song though. College, sorry, we won't go there, Hannah.
That's the only thing I truly remember. I know that he took his shirt off one time, and I said out loud like CBS is gonna get fined, so CBS is out like a couple thousand bucks. And then when Ludacris came out, I was like, "Oh shit!" I didn't realize that his afro was still that big. I figured that it'd be a little bit shorter by now. Nope.
It came out with the Too Fast, Too Furious look.
Was a big fan of that one.
No, I saw White Goodman from Dodgeball. He looked like he was signing up for Globo Dream's Dodgeball team. That was pretty good.
That's funny the way I wanted to get into just real quick before we kind of get into it was winners and losers of the week here, Jordan.
Let me ask you one.
Go ahead, give your thing, then go ahead with it.
No, there was just one commercial that stood out. Nobody loved the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Tom Brady dunking commercial.
It was
I liked it. I'll get it up on the screen here.
You're blinded by the pinstripes.
That was actually a pretty good commercial. I bookmarked it here. It was actually it was worth it.
How do you like them donuts? I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Tom. That was actually good, Jordan. You're right. That was actually a good one there with it. That was actually pretty. I like. It must be those pinstripes that are getting your way. Yankees, seventh inning stretch revenue.
Because she's Jenny from the block. Because she's from New York. Get it? He's from Boston. She's from New York. They shouldn't have fallen in love, but they did. Now they're happily ever after.
It will happen forever now.
It's a beautiful story. So what? She almost married Alex Rodriguez about a year and a half ago. Nobody's even paying attention to that anymore.
Before we get on to winners and losers, I gotta just say this. We didn't spend a ton of time with it, but that's as painful a loss as you can have if you're a fan of a team. I'm just saying, I've been there with it. If you it just is it's whatever it is, your main sport, baseball, football, but for me, it's the tuck rule. For me, it's the tuck rule. Literally no loss.
Jordan and I had a lead in the second half of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but the tuck rule is worse than that. That's the worst. That's worse than that.
We had a Lombardi trophy in our hands, and Aaron Donald kicked me in the balls.
Well, he did kick you. He did kick you right there with it, where the sun don't shine. I'll give you that. Hey, what do you guys got for winners and losers of the week here with it, Jordan? Or with not the week, the Super Bowl with it. Jordan, I'll start with you. You got a winner of the Super Bowl?
I'm going to start with the losers first. 49ers teams losing.
All right.
Missed extra point, muff punt. You take those two bad plays out, maybe they win. Especially with the extra point, it puts them up 4. It forces the Chiefs to go down and score a touchdown versus kicking a field goal and forcing overtime. So it's 49ers special teams, and it's such an undervalued part of the game. It's the most untalked about part of the game until you see something go wrong.
And they had some good special teams plays, which is weird because they had the punt that went to the 1 yard line. They had the Conley tackle, I thought, as well. They made some field goals, but they did have the big key ones that cost them the game. Good, Jimmy.
They just had too many times during the season and even in the postseason where they make a huge mistake that costs them field position or costs them momentum. That's what special teams is there for. If you do it right, special teams should be boring. If it's exciting, then that means that something's going terribly wrong. I used to have hour-and-a-half long special teams meetings in college. Make this the most boring unit. We repeated the same things over and over every single week because it should be boring because everything is the same every single time.
please make it boring. That's the key. Like I agree with you. Like my theory is when they kick punts, I'm like, just freaking don't even try to catch it. I like when they set
duck and cover.
Just don't even do anything. Just go to defensive formation. Let it bounce, for God's sakes. Take it at the 1 if you have to. All right, I got a few for winners. Jordan, you got a winner then too?
Winner, I mean it.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Brittany Mahomes for not allowing Jackson Mahomes in her Super Bowl party.
Yeah. The Uber driver's family.
So I like that. It's season 2 finale, Jordan. We're getting a little off base. It's all right. That can happen. So.
No, I'd say, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is your obvious winner. Made the big plays when the big plays had to be made. He made them with his legs. Nobody spotted the quarterback, and Andy Reid exposed it there at the end of the game. So the 49ers stayed in a Tampa 2, which just pissed me off the whole third and fourth quarter. And they paid for it. So.
What a defense. What a defense, the Tampa 2. Jimmy, you got a winner there?
For the game specifically?
Or anything commercial, anything. I don't care what the winner is. You got a winner for it.
I will say Jennings, even though they lost the game, Jennings is a winner because if he stays there or not, he won a contract. He
out of Tennessee.
Play next year.
Midwest boy out there. We got him at the Midwest guy out there in Tennessee. That's true. He did.
I'll say my winner, and I'll make this a totally selfish. This is just a twist to knife in those little 49er fans that I had to have my beef with all season.
Brian Johnson out there.
Brian Johnson, Tyler. I say that the Bengals are winners because we kicked the shit out of the 49ers when we played you during the season. Yes, and we were close to beating the Chiefs with a backup quarterback. So we were just as close to beating the Chiefs as you were, and we dominated you. So, ergo, we were a better team than the San Francisco 49ers. Bengals are number 2 team in the NFL this year. Book it. Write your checks home. That's how things work in this household. I have the microphone last, so boom.
Take it to the fucking bank, baby.
I just literally had Tyler text me at 6:53 because he was saying, "Do you want to come on?" I was like, "Do you want to come on?" And he goes, he just said it's still too fresh. So you know that he said still.
He would have cried if he would have either cried or screamed at me with what he just heard. That's fine. He's gonna bust his car stereo tomorrow morning when he's driving into work. But that's fine. It's the truth. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say it. We were closer to beating the Kansas City Chiefs with a backup quarterback than you guys were with your goddamn starting offense. I know that Greenlaw tore his Achilles on nothing. That's on you.
That's all you. Here's my winners of the week. I got Ben Affleck commercial, Usher halftime, Reba McEntire, nice Swifties, beer chugging. Taylor, she did do the beer chugging. That was impressive. I'll give her that with it. NFL monopolies. Yes, they're definitely like NFL is a monopoly. This sport is just taking over the world. Everybody watches it. They're the winner of the week. I have Vegas is a winner of the week. It seems like everybody liked it out there in Vegas. And like I said, CMC not breaking his leg on that one tackle across the middle. That's a winner of the week as well. My losers, TVs being broken. There's a lot of TVs being broken. I saw across Twitter, chairs being thrown, nets, whatever.
These aren't Cowboy fans. These are some civil people. Come on.
It's very similar. It's very similar. The colors actually are the only real difference between the two fan bases. And they treat TVs just so poorly.
Throwing chairs into the TV isn't necessary, people. So TV's big loser. Streakers. I mean, come on, you don't buy tickets to the street.
You're not a streaker unless you're fully naked. I don't want to hear it.
That is true. Greenwall injury. We talk about that. Wizard of Oz commercial was the first one for me out here. Very poor decision out there. That was during the Super Bowl. Not a good one. Now I'm talking after kickoff. That was the first commercial that I count. I didn't necessarily will not see that movie. And then my final one for loser of the week. Niners Mystique is definitely the biggest loser to me. The 5-0 was a big thing to me as a kid growing up. Yeah. In the Super Bowl. Now they've lost 3 straight. You know, that Mystique, right? They could have 8 right now. They have the most. I feel like those are my winners and losers of the week there with it. Jordan, biggest storyline real quick. We're at the very end here. Biggest storyline headed into the next year in your head right now. What do you got?
I do want to give out one more winner.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give a winner to the Nickelodeon network because that's SpongeBob, the little SpongeBob concert. I loved it. So
kids loved it. More kill.
Yeah.
Last one that's right.
Oh, yes.
I like that one. That one is good. What Jimmy? What by some? What was it? Something like you don't want to be when Patrick tells you made an interception or something like that. It was. I heard somebody said like that. It's not a good sign.
He jumped outside and Dora the Explorer gets to explain it to America what just happened. Yeah, so you see what happened was number 71 was not very smart and he moved before the ball was snapped, which is very bad. Do you need a map to the end zone?
We don't want that from Dora there.
Help me find the open zone. Do you
Jordan,
see it?
Use that for your defensive coordinating strategy next year. Real quick, headline, just in the next year. First thing that comes to mind. What do you got?
Joe Burrow's comeback, baby. Healthy, coming back with a vengeance. Still 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes. Let's go. That's my storyline. I'm sticking to it.
Jimmy, what do you got?
Running backs are obsolete, and they proved it because both running backs choked in huge moments and almost cost their team the game. 2 huge fumbles that totally flipped momentum. Running back position, as much as I hate it, is dead.
Man, I think he would have won MVP though, even with Jennings. I still think he would have won it unless Jennings got another.
If 49ers win and Jennings doesn't win the MVP, I think he should stab somebody.
He had 160 total yards, though. He did have 100. All right, my biggest storylines, I said it. Bills, Bengals, Eagles. Going right away, those teams jump out to me next year. Texans, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and then Chiefs 3-peat. Those are going to be my 4 kind of quick things that come to my mind when I think of that. Go ahead.
The Bryce Young bust.
Yeah, that's kind of why it's on my mind. Like, is this going to be the end of is this going to be the dagger here that comes to it? Jimmy Pilato. We're at the end here with it. Let's end it with this, my friend, as we wrap up season 2 here on Talking the Gridiron here, Variety Sports Network. It's on far end of the bench as well. Make sure you take it out there. What's your biggest takeaway from this season as we say goodbye here? I got it on the ticker here at the bottom. As we say goodbye here to the folks here, we wrap it up. Talking the Gridiron. Jordan's been with us, I think, since about week 6. I feel like, Jordan, you've been with us. We had Brian early carrying some of it. You went on. I had Tyler jump on a little bit as well. A lot of people we want to say thank you to. But what's kind of your biggest takeaway from this season?
The show is finally at a point where it's bigger than the people that are on it. Pretty much anybody can run the brand, and the brand will take care of itself. So that's pretty cool. As we've been doing the show, especially recently, wrestling season has been picking up, and it's something that I dedicate as much time as I do to it because I do really, really enjoy it. And we got 7 wrestlers qualified into the Colorado State tournament, which is being held in Ball Arena. So they're going to be playing in the same place that the Nuggets won their NBA championship. The Stanley Cup champion Avalanche played their games. So just real quickly run down the list for their shout outs. Zarette Silva Lopez, 125, Brianna Robles, 130, Miliana Mimi Lopez, 170, Carter Lawson, 106, Tucker Mahoney, 120, Colin McInnes, 113, Caden Ontiveros, 144. Those 7 wrestlers are going to be going for a Colorado State championship at the wrestling tournament. It's it's the coolest, I think, championship event that Colorado has because there's 16 mats laid out across the entire arena floor. It's general admission seating up until the finals. And then for the finals, there's 6 mats. And those 6 mats, you have half of them, dreams are coming true. Everything that you worked for the past however long is happening. Half of them, unfortunately, you came 1 match short. You fell 6 minutes short of your ultimate goal. And there's no better motivator. There's no better lesson to be learned. I think wrestling is one of those sports that if everybody could do, we'd be a lot humbler of a society. So I'm really excited. Big shout out to those 7 from Castleview High School taking on Ball Arena at the state championship this week.
And as we kind of get into that, I think we all 3 coach. I think that's something that's kind of cool. Obviously, we do it at different levels and stuff like that, but I think you do it enough. Our age doesn't matter. You kind of you connect to people along the way with this, so it does matter. I'm finishing up girls basketball here with it. I was joking this week, like I was sick this week, and I was like, my girls never played better than less is more. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just never know with sports. Sometimes you got to figure out a way. We all know this. You have to have an identity when you do anything, wrestling, all that. You have to have an identity. Anything. When we do this podcast, there's an identity to it. Like Jimmy just said, like we kind of feel like now we're at the point where maybe anybody can run it. I mean, me and you are busy. We'll see what next year brings for me and you headed into next year.
It's going to be us from moving forward because we're the best at it. No offense, Jordan.
No, we are good at it. And we got Jordan. Go ahead, Jordan.
I'm really privileged to learn from you guys. I'm privileged to be on it. I enjoy that you continue to have me back. So it's not overlooked. It's not overthought. I really have learned a lot from you guys this season.
Well, and I don't know. And Jimmy, somebody's like, well, you talk to Jimmy. My mom, like, she'll listen to the podcast. Jimmy, she'll be like, how often? I mean, me and Jimmy are kind of the type where the show ends, we kind of move on. I think we just get it. We're both teachers. Like if we needed to say something to each other, we would just call each other. We'd figure it out from there. We'll move on there with it. Jordan, I feel like you've brought that same energy to the show here as you brought on with me and Jimmy. We're pretty just kind of straightforward with things, and we don't really we're just kind of like when we need something, we can get a hold of. Exactly. So I think me and Jimmy haven't really even talked about your addition necessarily to the show, but I think if I speak for Jimmy,
it's a pretty show.
Yeah, I feel like you've been a great addition to it, and you're, yes, you are another Bengals fan, but I still feel like even throughout that,
I do need the backup. I need the backup for sure.
Here, baby.
It is
Marine, Toby Keith. He told you.
Toby Keith. So no, I feel like as we're wrapping it up here, I do want to spend just a few seconds kind of talking about our journey here with it here, and we won't spend 30 minutes with it, but just a couple extra here. We started it. I was looking back, Jimmy. We did the preseason with Logan Stone 2 years ago. Kind of funny. We started there with it. We've adapted along the way. So I'm really proud of our show. The views over the playoffs were just really special there to see, and just kind of like the hard work that we have, and just your guys' knowledge of the game. Jimmy, obviously you being the football guy, doing the radio broadcast has been fun for me. That's my biggest takeaway is just like how much I've actually enjoyed doing the show with you guys over the years here. And just like, I don't know, I just feel like I tell Brandon, I go, sometimes it's hard because it's Sunday night and like it takes all day Sunday to do the show. And like, it does take a lot from my wife as well, my family. But at the end of the day, I do enjoy doing the show at the end of the day. So I do appreciate you guys with it. I wanted to make sure at the bottom here, I've had it here, the guys that have been on the show all year along with us, Tyler, to Brian, to Rev, who's been with us. You know him. Nico's been on the show. Terrell has been on the show. Our guys from Out of Your Falcon Mind, Chris from New York, Aaron, that's my sports, have tuned in, see Wood. So all those guys have played a factor, Brandon, all those guys at Variety Sports Network. So I feel like, Jimmy, as we kind of put a little bow here on season 2, it's been quite the journey, and I appreciate you, my friend. It's been I appreciate everything you kind of brought to the table here.
Yeah, we got to figure out. We'll probably do a couple more off-season shows, and if this show continues to be as popular as it is, maybe this just becomes a full year-round thing. I'm sure we can talk about other stuff outside of football. You guys watch basketball. I watch wrestling. I watch hockey. We all pay attention to pop culture. We all have different points of view.
Our teams are in the draft.
and why not use this brand that's already been established to build up our own personal brands? Yeah. That's what Variety Sports Network was brought together to be, right? I'm pretty sure when Nico and I had our conversation with Brandon, that's what we said. We wanted to collaborate. We wanted to have shows that are from, none of us would have crossed paths outside of this little network that started out in St. Louis, Missouri, and none of us have ever set foot or lived there. Yep. And we're all in different time zones and still everything like that. So I feel like this show is really finding a good spot, and it was a good season. I'm excited to, quote, have weeks off now that wrestling, it's mainly the wrestling stuff. If this show wasn't like at the end of football season with the postseason and then right into wrestling season, it would be so much easier. But I'm very excited for like the week that I'm just going to come home after work and sleep and not do sit in the dark room. Daren, after a day of teaching, when you've made so many decisions and talked to so many different people, so many different little minds that are like so melting, like I just need to sit in the dark room.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing on, no podcast, no music, just silence and darkness. That's all I need.
I don't need to know why your first grade body has an ankle injury, and I just saw you running on the playground 5 minutes ago. You get your butt on there, you run a lap right now. That's what we're doing. I don't want to hear anything about your ankle, lady. You get out there, you run a lap.
You're about to trigger me, and I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. I'm getting my adrenaline. My adrenal glands are secreting.
You're gonna bring out the drill instructor in me.
Exactly, Jordan. I need you out there.
I wish I could be the way a drill instructor was. That would be so much simpler. It's Jordan, so straightforward.
I need you for my 7th grade boys out here once in a while. I need you out there for them. I need you next week. We'll get you out there.
Oh, Daren, the 7th grade boys are
you'll be
mystery, aren't they?
Show up. I will show up.
Hey, if you ever make it out to California, this area, this part of the world, you come out. You make sure you hit me up. You get about.
I've been there. I've been to Pendleton. I've been to 29 Palms. I've been to some areas of California. I'm not afraid to revisit. You let me know.
All right. Well, if you ever make it up to the northern part of here, you make sure you hit me up. We'll make sure we meet up there with it. So, guys, good show. Good season 2 recap. Jimmy Pilato, I feel like we've kind of touched on all the gooey stuff, as we say, as we kind of end the show here. It was kind of a good season. Appreciate everybody. As like I said, I have you at the bottom there. Appreciate everybody that kind of tuned in, make the show good. Like I said, 2 years now in the book. The view said it. The view said it that the audience, we appreciate when we have 3,000 views live for that one episode. How sick is that? So we've come a long way along the way with it. So, so one last time here, season 2, Talking the Gridiron. For Jordan Maxson, for Jimmy Pilato, far on the bench, I'm Daren Breyer. We'll see you next year, guys. Peace.